Well, hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and I'm trying to capture some of the amazing scenery of Utah behind me. Utah is just a very incredible state for scenery, nature, and things like that. I have spent the last 10 days straight with my daughters, and I took time off of work, and I just spent that whole 10 days with them. It was great. Super good experience. We went to a lot of water parks, indoor water parks, hikes. We even went trout fishing. It was an amazing time. I disconnected myself from most things in large part, including doing videos, so that I could just focus my time with my daughters. And it was great. I loved it. And I'm going to do it again next month for another 10 days. And I'm super excited about that. Just chiming in to say hi to all of you. Yeah, I'm still alive. And I hope you all are doing fantastic and amazing. I was trying to think of a topic for today's video, and I'm thinking about ego today. Ego is simply at least in my mind, ego is simply the expectation of who we think we are and living up to that expectation, or that situations and things should work a certain way, and when they don't, our egos, our value, our perception of ourselves takes a big hit, and for the most part. I know that I've experienced this in my life, and how to get to a point where the ego is unaffected, and that we can get to a point where we take actions and steps in our lives that we're not worried about our egos being affected. Like taking an effort to do something, even if you fail, I think is an example of the ego. Like I personally don't like to fail. Whenever I try something and it doesn't work, I think, gosh, I wasn't able to make that work. My instinct is to say, that was my fault. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I didn't have the capacity to make it happen, when in reality, that's how we learn as humans, is through taking action and failing a lot. Look at most successful people and they'll tell you that they're not an overnight success, that they got to where they are through continuous failure. And that's okay to fail. Failure is a good thing, and to look at it as your ego should be fed by the failure because you're taking action that most people aren't. But for me, that's one thing I struggle with and I'm continuing to work on, is how do I deal with failings or things not working out how I expected. And I think the answer to that is to continually love yourself, self-love, hug yourself, pat yourself on the back, keep trying despite of what's going on, of results and fears, keep at it. And then what about the days where you just don't have the energy, or you just are having an off day, and learning to be okay with resting and not being productive? That's been another challenge for me, is I like to feel like I'm working on things and making a huge impact in the world, and when I'm not, my ego takes a hit. It says, oh, you're useless, you're just kind of laying around, and instead saying, I need that time to relax and recharge. I need that time for my body to rest and refresh itself. And same thing with interactions with other people, learning to give of myself and my presence, to just share, to think of myself in terms of just sharing with other people. Like with you all on this YouTube channel, I'm thinking just share what I have to say, and not expect that even one person will watch it. I know people watch my videos, but the expectation I have is that I don't need people to watch them and give me validation, but that I'm just going to share anyways because that's what I feel inspired to do. And the ego can take a hit. If I do a video that doesn't get as many views or comments, I can say, maybe I didn't do a good enough job, or maybe I wasn't inspiring enough, or maybe I need to do a better job of presentation in my videos, or I'm just not doing as good as I can. Those kinds of things, those thoughts do cross my mind. I'm a human being, just like all of you. I do have doubts and fears, and I think the goal is to continue to move toward an ego or self-perception that's unaffected by the external environment, meaning it's unaffected by people, events, circumstances, successes or failures. A philosophy I was reading about the other day, Stoicism. Stoicism, it's essentially being at peace with the way things are, and the saying help me to control the things I can and to accept the things I cannot control or change, or whatever word you want to use. So I've been practicing Stoicism and taking any events or circumstances that occur and learning to be at peace with them. Not trying to force things, allow the things in my life that happen easily and effortlessly to just flow and come, and to allow that which does not come easy and effortlessly to dissolve. That's another practice, a practice of the ego, because I think the ego says things need to be a certain way, things need to happen a certain way. I think the shedding of the ego, or that self-perception of ourselves, says, come what may, I will give my best, but come what may, and I'll accept what comes easily and effortlessly and naturally. So that's my video for today, y'all. Talking a little bit about the ego. And I hope y'all are doing amazing. And we'll see you in the next video.